You have just won a contest that has given you $250 million deposited to your bank account. What are you doing today? Probably order a bunch of little things I've been wishing I could buy on Amazon for a while. Get excited about finally meaningfully looking for some property to buy instead of daydreaming, and I don't know, eventually asking around for some financial planning references. Might buy a car? Or schedule some time with a dentist. I'd definitely be enrolling in the next semester at community college. Probably crying too. Lots of that. I can't lie, it hurts how many things I want to do, feel like I need to do to be living a life, don't happen because I can afford them. That would be winning the Powerball or Mega Ball lotteries. Once I got my money, I would just sit for a while and let it sink in. Then, I would think about who I want to share it with, who I don't want to share it with, buy the things I want and help a few people. Make a few investments, put some money in the bank to save and work to defeat certain politicians. All of them being Republicans, and working to make sure the Orange Jesus never gets anywhere near the White House again and spends the rest of his life in prison. First, I'm finding a way to get about $300K cash. I'll use that to hire an attorney, a financial advisor, and a financial planner. I'm then taking all of them, plus myself and whoever I choose, to a secure location, meaning I'm not telling you or anyone where. Once we arrive and get ourselves acquainted, we will spend the next 4 weeks deciding how the rest of my life will go in a financial sense. The planner and advisor will do the finding of the things information, and my attorney will be my legal typewriter, putting all that money into a pension fund so that I cannot spend it all immediately. Hiring someone to maintain my wayfaring guy. Buying the land on which my sailing club sits and putting that land into trust so that it can only be used for sailing and water sports purposes. Paying off all my debts. Setting up a trust fund for my daughter, wife and mother-in-law. Going on a round-the-world trip by motorbike. I would probably continue to work because I do enjoy my job. But I'd work part-time. I'll grind away at my same old shit because I'm a slow on the uptake workhorse with an appetite for punishment. Gradually it would occur to me to seek financial advice and revamp my life plan to be somewhat more glamorous. I'd do the latter slowly and poorly. Then, I'd get bamboozled by family and friends. Then I'd buy an island with my remaining 8 million and roast vegan hot dogs for sustenance. I'd never work again, except at gardening and poetry and fixing my composting toilet on the regular. Lawyer and financial advisor. Set up funds for family with the legal obligation that they can never ask me for money again. Put 95 of the remaining money in various high-yield savings accounts, ETFs, index funds, etc. Enjoy the cash I have that's liquid in the short term used loosely, because with like $12 million cash, that's going to last me several years, even with a lavish, for me, lifestyle, and then live off interest and gains after the $12 million runs out. Pay off all my debt, fix my house and rent it out to a family in rough times for free, buy a nicer home. Set up funds for myself and my children for life, start up non-profits and alternative medical research. Buy my sister 2 working cars. Donate to charities. I work for a non-profit that's very deserving. I wouldn't leave my job until they find and train someone to take my place. I would love a personal cook, honestly. That would be my guilty pleasure. Financial advisor. Lawyer. Buy a nice house with plenty of space. Tell work where to shove their job. Live off the dividends from my investment portfolio, thanks, financial advisor, and with a nice, big shit whack of it, fund a scholarship for doctors, nurses, and psychologists to train and specialize in men's mental health, because us dudes are putting ourselves in the dirt far too often and something needs to be done about it. Cliché answer, but I'm going to Disney World. Sure, there's other things to do, but I went to Disney last year and my son had so much fun. He brings it up all the time and asks when we're going again. Might as well invite some of his friends and their families and his cousins, grandparents, etc. I can go all out for a week, and still hang 249,950,000 left over. Oh, I'd pay off all my debt on the plane ride down there too. Going to my job and giving my 2 weeks. I know some people might not ever go back, but I like my job and my boss team. In those 2 weeks I'd find a financial advisor, pay off my rental, pay my tenants to leave, remodel it, invite 2 of them back to live in a cause they were cool. Then just set up someone to continue to buy properties from me while I travel. After a year, I'd come back and see who I want to give money to. My first priority would be hiring a financial advisor and a lawyer. My second is to take $247 million of that money and put it away in a CD. My third is to take the approx $2 million I have on hand and finally start my own engineering business instead of working for someone. The last $1 million or whatever is left of it after I spend it on the financial advisor and lawyer goes to buying a house and a new car. Telling ratchet ass ho ass Sally Mae to suck a dick. I go to their corporate headquarters, which by the way is located at 300 Continental Drive, Newark, Delaware 19713, just in case anyone needs to know, in a helicopter, and toss pennies on the roof for hours on end until my balance was paid off. I do that while drunkenly yelling every single derogatory thing I could possibly think of through a megaphone. Hire a good lawyer and tell no one except my husband. Strategically, and likely anonymously, give a decent chunk to the non-profits I support, and perhaps a surprise windfall to the woman who is always standing at the stoplight 1 block after my freeway exit, asking for $1 or $2. Apparently, she is not in-house or unfed, but for better or worse, her persistence and dedication have grown on me. Paying off the debts of all of my family, buy myself a new truck, buy my wife a Prius Prime, buy my children nicer vehicles, homes for my adult children, buy land where I want to, and begin construction on a new home that I will build with the help of some experts. Somewhere along the way, near the beginning, I would hire people who know way more about finances than I do to help me manage the money. I would set up trusts for my family and for my Medicaid doctor and dentist so they all have constant annual income. I will buy farms, hire hands, and give away all the food, textiles, and natural medicines that we produce. I would buy properties and house homeless and abused people and refugees. I would try to contact my fellow millionaires and billionaires to get them to do the same work. Keep 5 million and put the rest on CDs. 5 million will last me 5-10 years at least. Probably a lot longer. Pay off debts. Buy a new car for my wife. Build 2-car garage at home. Buy property for a large garage and a lift. Ideally touching or on my property. Buy a project car for myself. That is my whole list. Done. Everything else is just living expenses and random stuff I want. Calling the family lawyer and financial advisor, putting in my resignation at work with a fat donation to the non-profit I work for with plenty of strings attached. Buying a bunch of people's rent, buying a cool house within the bounds of what we can maintain ourselves for my wife and I, otherwise doing the same shit I do now. Spend time with my wife, enjoy hobbies, spend time with friends, celebratory dinner and drinks with my husband. Get a financial advisor. Pay off my car and all debts. Pay off my grandfather's debt. Set up a fund for my nieces and nephews for when they're older. Give very few close friends and family members 5-7 people a little bit to get them ahead. Then move to Florida with my grandfather and go to Disney. I would also buy him and myself a house. Not tell anyone. Work out taxes. Pay off mortgage. Buy a new car for my husband. Put in solar panels. Upgrade kitchen and floors. Take a month's holiday in Europe and Bora Bora. See a financial expert to invest the remainder and look into gifting enough to pay off my brother's mortgage and match the same amount for my son and sister. Set up trust funds for nieces and nephews. If it's all in one account, transfer the funds to other accounts to help pay off a few debts. Save some of it. Hire a financial advisor to help me plan out my future to determine if I can retire now, or should I wait a bit. See about maybe moving into my paternal grandmother's old house if it hasn't been sold yet, fix it up, and also have an in-ground pool put in. Other than hiring a lawyer and financial advisor, pretty much nothing. Pay the house off, remodel, trust fund for my kids, maybe some modest new cars and gadgets for all of us, and I'd book 2 vacations. One with the family, one without. I know the one thing I'm not going to do is tell a single soul besides my spouse. Not even my children until they're all grown. Paying for my dog's heart surgery if she qualifies, retiring, buying a house with a big yard, converting kill shelters to no-kill shelters, and starting some sort of dog rescue and/or charity. Maybe a new vehicle since my truck from 2011 is starting to show its age. I'm not sure about it though, because it really is my dog's truck that she lets me drive. I'd immediately pay off my credit card debt, give my kind, single mom sister as much money as she needs to help her out. I'd also book a nice month-long trip to Mexico to soak up the sun and do lots of snorkeling. After that, I would meet with a financial advisor to help me set up a plan to make my new money work for me and make even more money. The first day, pay all my debts off, make appointments with lawyers and financial advisors, take a nap, and then take a week of PTO for personal reasons. Then gorge myself on a high-end omakase and have the best night's sleep in a long time. Long term I set up trusts for some family and then fuck off somewhere nice for 6 months and relax. Buy a house and take my mom and my 2 siblings to live there together, get out from my grandma's house so all of us could avoid meeting our toxic relatives altogether. I don't mind continuing living the poor guy's lifestyle despite having so much money. Getting a new home would make me so thankful to this life at this point. Paying off all debt. Buying a modest home for my kids and buying a home for my family back home and investing the rest into some savings for my kids and myself. Then I'd help at least one family a year for the rest of my life to get back onto their feet. Try and send their kids to school to help break generational curses. Ridiculous answer? Go into work and offer $1 million to anyone willing to quit with me today and never come back. And then when someone I don't like comes to collect their check I say no, not you. You're here forever, and then give them and my boss a solemn wave and take everyone out to breakfast at the diner next door. Hiring the right team to create a LLC, hold the money in that, insure it or some shit. Pay off home, cars and debt. Invest the money, don't live extravagant but enjoy life. Build the sickest gaming PCs. Travel a bit and try to live low-key. Money won't change my lifestyle too much, it would just make life so much easier. Buying a home in a few cities I've chosen from different countries, getting my dream car, starting a business I've always wanted to do, plan a 2-vacation week, buy a house for a few members of my family, hire a labor and security guard. Then I'd start working on my new business, under my own time and at my own rhythm.